What's up, people? It's your boy AC back for another What He Really Thinks. This is the topic which I've been asked about a couple of times, and it's what men wish women knew about them on a first date. Now, I read in a journal recently that the number one feeling that women want to experience when out on a first date is comfort. So, being comfortable and secure in the man's presence, even more than necessarily feeling highly attractive to the person, right? Well, shock horror, men have the same feeling, that need for security, that feeling for ease and comfort. It's a first date. They're probably nervous too, and they want to make a good first impression, right? So they want to feel the conversation doesn't dry up. They want to feel that there's ease and comfort, and it doesn't have to come from anything overtly that the woman is doing, right? So I'm thinking more, what am I thinking more? Paralinguistics. So, tone of voice, um, being very calm. Her volume isn't all over the place. It's respectful, not cursing all the time, and just being involved in a conversation. You know, they're quite basic, but these are things. And I think that's possibly the number one thing out of five. Let's say we'll see if I can think of five that men wish women knew about them when on a first date, and men find it very desirable. Now, of course, when a man's able to maintain that level of conversation and engagement and wit and being funny, that shows a certain level of maturity, and women appreciate that too. There's a fine line here, right? And that leads me on to the second thing on my list that men wish women knew about them on a date, and that is he thinks, as crazy as this sounds, that talking about himself, probably a lot, will make him more attractive to you, will make him a more attractive proposition in general. The irony here is that women don't use this prime opportunity to interject, should I say, and ask all those really important first date or first couple of date questions. Hopefully, there's a link coming up on the screen to help you along with those questions. Women don't use this to their advantage because this is where he wants to open up, right? He wants to tell you about himself. So when, for example, he will talk about what guy's going to boast about, he's going to talk about his job, probably, right? This is a time where you can ask him, you can get a barometer of his level of ambition. Right? It's not going to be, pitch perfect, but you can ask him, okay, did he always have aspirations to be in that job? Or has he got aspirations to move further along in that role? What else is attached to that he wants to achieve? If he, for example, another example is if he makes the cardinal sin of talking about his ex, right? We've never done that, have we? You can ask him a question like, how often did he used to talk to her when they started dating, or even what he's learned about women in past relationships, right? These are prime opportunities to expand the conversation. You can save yourself a lot of potential tears, and you can learn a lot about the guy by not letting him go rogue with his conversation and really steering the conversation along. There's an irony here, or maybe it's a paradox, you tell me in the comments. Anyways, is that men don't ask enough questions back because they see the date or the occasion, whatever, they see it like it's an audition, or like they're the ones who have to quote unquote do well, and sell themselves, right? Because invariably it's a woman that chooses to give a guy a chance at a relationship, not invariably the other way around. So again, because they're not going to be necessarily asking a lot of questions back, don't see that as a negative. Because you're steering the conversation along, you can steer that back to yourself, right, all the time, and he's going to be happy with that. Number three thing men wish women knew is that he doesn't know that making excuses for small types of physical touch, for example, removing lint from your sleeve, or I don't know, he playfully bumps your elbow to get your attention. He doesn't realize that this is a clear sign of showing his attraction, right? Instead, he saves all of that physical affection, let's call it, and signals of affection, of attraction, for the end of the date. And that can cause a lot of awkwardness because what he really thinks basically is, I only know if this date or this audition goes well if she gives me a hug or even a kiss at the end of the date, right? Something overt. That can lead to a lot of awkwardness. And sadly, women don't know that that's what he's really thinking. Men need to fix up in this area, but that's what he really thinks. Number four, Men genuinely don't care about how much money you earn, your professional qualifications, your personal finances. They're far more interested in learning about how those things, if we're talking about money specifically, how they've improved or informed your life. So, for example, instead of knowing that you earned 100K last year, right, what he really thinks is, what's your relationship with that money? Were you frugal with it? Did you treat yourself regularly? Did you buy expensive things? Um, or the masters that you've got, right? How did it mean that you were able to move up the career ladder, or or moving up the career ladder when you got to a certain stage and were earning more money? Did you invest? What was your ROI, on getting that doctorate? Right, those are the kind of things that men actually care about, as opposed to the headline of I earn this amount, I have this degree, etc. Finally, on the subject of money, number 5 thing that men wish women they knew on a first date: he doesn't care, he doesn't mind paying on the first date. What he really thinks is that it's a sign of caring and of a thoughtful nature. Remember what I said at the top of the show, which is I talked about men needing to feel just as comfortable and secure as women do when they're on a date, right? Well, it's a positive sign of a woman's appreciation, yeah, and shows that she's not just, taking his time or his effort, or dare I say his chivalry, for granted if she offers to split the bill. Most likely he's still going to decline, right, and offer to pay. But that's what he really thinks. See you next time.